Happy Tuesday morning, folks. I'm just going to do a real quick rundown here of what's happening in the trucking industry. Um, I just heard on one of the other YouTube channels that Snyder got hit for a $47 million lawsuit. Yes, I said $47 million lawsuit. Some of the things that's going on in the trucking industry is a lot of the students out here are not being taught that when you go off duty for your sleeper berth, you got to be off duty for 10 hours, and you can tell I'm in the dock. When you go off duty for 10 hours, you're supposed to go to bed. You know, you're supposed to do your shower, you're supposed to eat, and then you're supposed to go to sleep and rest, okay? Students aren't being taught that, right? They think that they can just go ahead and play their video games for 8 or 9 hours and then go to sleep for 2 hours and be able to drive again for 11 hours. Okay, one of the things in the trucking industry is you have a 14-hour day. As soon as your clock starts, you got 14 hours before your day ends. Now, some of that is kind of adjustable because, you know, like me, I'm a local driver, so, you know, every once in a while I'll get held at the dock, and I can pull a 16-hour day because I was held at the dock. But, you know, there are rules for that, how you use that. Another thing that drivers aren't being taught is proper footwear. I see a lot of drivers nowadays that come out of their trucks wearing flip-flops, clogs, right? And they're really not being taught that when you're driving a truck, you need footwear that your foot is not going to slip out of. And drivers aren't taught that, right? And the reason why you don't want to wear flip-flops while driving a truck is if that flip-flop falls off your foot while you're driving, it can get stuck underneath the brake pedal, it can get stuck underneath the accelerator, and now you have a situation where you can't stop, or you are, you know, your accelerator is going constantly, and yeah, it's a bad situation, right? It can lead to a massive accident. Another thing they're not taught is you do not want to be on your phone at all when you're driving, at all, okay? Yeah, if you get a phone call, okay, that's why you have a headset, but when you're driving down the road, you don't want to be touching your phone, okay? One of the tricks that I do, and I'm not sure if this will work for everyone, but I put on my favorite XM station, and I black the phone out, and I listen to my XM station as I'm driving down the road. Now, that's just a safety issue. I mean, I'm listening to music, it's not anything important, you know, it's just noise in the background for me. If I get a phone call, you know, the app that I use will bounce over to the phone call, and I'll finish my phone call, and the app will start back up again automatically. I do not have to touch the phone. Okay, one of the reasons why these companies are coming up with these rules is because of lawsuits. Anything which distracts you from driving and you get in an accident, you're going to find this out very quickly if you did not know. If you get in an accident driving a commercial vehicle, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to try and sue your company for every little dime that they can get, because you're going to have lawyers coming out of the woodwork. They want to sue for billions. I didn't say millions, I said billions. And they're going to make this massive lawsuit over one little mistake. Now, if you're on your phone, they're going to sit there and ask the court to pull up what you were doing on your phone. If they can show that you were distracted by your phone, you have automatically lost a lawsuit, even though you might have been 100% correct in what you were doing. It's all about money, folks. Okay? It's all about money. We need to think, especially if you're in the trucking industry, we need to think about the fact that we want our job. That's why we do this, is we want our job to be able to live, right? So we can pay our bills and support our families and do the things that we like to do when we're off. So we need to think about things more deeply, and we need to train the new drivers more clearly, because the industry standards have dropped drastically in the last 10 years. I can say that. I've been driving since December of 2002. So when I'm telling you that the standards have dropped dramatically, I mean they have dropped dramatically, both on training and on common sense. Now, I blame the trucking schools for some of this. I don't blame all the trucking companies. I do blame some of the trucking schools on this, but I also blame the FMCSA. Okay, the FMCSA mandates certain things in the manual, and that is how it's supposed to be. However, they are letting these trucking companies and especially these truck driving schools get away with not teaching the FMCSA standards. That needs to stop. Okay? Understandably, there are some things in the trucking industry that we know that we cannot do, which is not even allowed in most of society. That is drinking on the job. That is a big no-no. That's not allowed. Okay? You should not even have anything on your truck which has an alcohol content in it. Okay? When I was taught to drive, that was a big thing going around. Couldn't have Listerine on the truck because it has alcohol in it. Couldn't have NyQuil on the truck because it is considered a drug and can make you sleepy. So it couldn't be on the truck. And it also has an alcohol content. Okay? Certain medications make you drowsy. Right? You can't have it on the truck. Now, I'm not a perfect driver, and I don't do everything perfectly. But I think that some common sense needs to be taught in the schools. The reason why you wear boots, and these are steel toe, is because when you open the trailer doors, there's a high probable chance of something falling out of the trailer. It is not because your company is being buttheads about the fact that you got to wear steel-toe boots. It's because they've had many drivers be injured from falling freight. Or if you go into certain places that have construction going on, they are not trying to be buttheads about the fact that they don't want open-toe shoes. It's about the fact that people have sued their companies because they have injured their feet in that construction area. So you have to come with some of these rules about your dress. Okay? Going into a shipper or a consignee wearing sweatpants and no shirt is unacceptable. You are a professional. It says that when you get your commercial driver's license, you are a professional driver. You should dress appropriately. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you how to dress, but I'm telling you that walking into somewhere covered in grease looks bad not only on you as a driver, but also on your company. And let's be honest, these companies, the freight is so slow right now that these companies are letting companies go for the littlest reason. And that could be how you lose a freight lane. Okay? You're supposed to be a professional, dress like it. You're supposed to be a professional, carry yourself like it. Fighting in the truck stop is unprofessional. If you have a problem with someone and they get heated, walk away. That's the adult thing to do. I cannot say this enough. Common sense. You're not out here to be Joe Rambo. You are out here to protect the public at all costs. And the reason I say that is you are hauling down the road an 80,000 pound rig, sometimes even more than 80,000 pounds, that can kill you and kill everyone around you if you screw up. If no one's told you that as a new driver, I just told you. Basically, you need to take the attitude of you are on top of a silver bullet. And you need to be aware of the fact that that silver bullet, if it blows a tire, could kill the people in the car beside you. I've seen too many new drivers riding up on the back end of a car. You can't stop like a car. You can't. Well, I'm empty. You're still going to take a good 600 feet before you stop, even with Jake brakes and slamming on the brakes. You cannot stop like a car. You cannot turn like a car. If you didn't know that, now you do. Okay? You need to be the professional. You need to pay attention when you're in training. You need to pay attention to some of the things your trainers are telling you, because there are so many of you out here that can't read a map, that rely on GPS. You're getting stuck under bridges, you're running over cars, you're running over curbs, you're going off into the median because you're either one, distracted by the phone, two, you're in a daydream and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, or three, a car just cut you off and you reacted without thinking. Let me reiterate. If you screw up, you can kill you and everyone around you in a couple seconds. I want to reiterate that. There are too many drivers dying because they're not paying attention, they're daydreaming, they're not looking around, they get comfortable in the seat, and then they start riding up on cars. I'm going to tell you what my trainer told me 22 years ago. The day that you feel so comfortable that you are just sitting in the seat and you're daydreaming is the day you need to get down out of that seat and walk away from trucking. So, 47 million. $47 million because a driver was on meth, lied to his company, only had 2 months experience, and wasn't being trained properly. He lied on the document saying that he was even at the accident. But $47 million, and unfortunately someone lost their life. It happens in a split second, folks. I cannot comprehend the idea of $47 million. I can't comprehend that number. You know, I can comprehend $100, I can comprehend $500, but $47 million, it just is beyond my comprehension. If you think that this lawsuit is not going to have an effect on the entire trucking industry, you are out of your mind. You are out of your mind. So that's my little bit of a rant this morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm getting unloaded at one of my normal customers. And I watched that YouTube this morning. And I was like, are you kidding me? I got to respond to this. I really do. Okay? Y'all need to start being more professional out here. And I know I'm stepping on some people's toes when I say that, but that's the truth. And you wonder why the trucking industry, our freight rates are being cut. It's because people are not acting professional. They're cussing out customers. They're getting mad. They're tearing up stuff. They're cussing out their dispatchers. That's not a professional attitude. And don't get me wrong, there's some days where I agree with you that, you know, hey, I wanna go off. But you know what? That's part of trucking, baby. Some days it's hard. Some days it's easy. That's just part of trucking. I guess I've gone on a little bit of a rant and a little bit of a tangent, but it is not that hard to show up to work with clean clothes and closed-toe shoes. That's not hard. And I've seen too many people at various customers that are coming in, they look like they are a homeless person. Okay, you represent their company, right? Whether it be your own company or the company that you're driving for, that's who you represent. And if these customers see you dressing like that, that's a bad image for that company. And customers aren't going to continue using that company, and you're going to lose money as a driver if you keep doing it. So that's what I wanted to say this morning. I guess this is a little bit long and a little bit of a tangent, but that's what's going on in the trucking industry. And I can guarantee you some things are going to change in the trucking industry over this lawsuit. I can almost guarantee it. Companies are going to get a little bit more stricter on who they hire. They're going to get a little bit more stricter on what they allow. And there's going to be people laid off over this, right? Over one person's mistake. Other people are going to suffer. So think about that the next time you just want to go lollygagging down the road. You know, you need to think about that. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Bicycle.